Hello and good evening to everybody. This is Carl of Pitch Points, and I'm here to talk about tomorrow's big game, the final of the Champions League between Man City and Chelsea, two English teams. I have with me here the Lord Toffee from Everton. Welcome, Carl.
Hello, mate. How are you? I'm guessing you're a bit nervous.
I'll talk about how I'm feeling in a moment. It's a weird feeling. I'll explain
Yeah.
my whole thinking towards to you, and we'll do that. Hey, Charlie. Good evening. How are you, Charlie? All the way from England. How are you? Thanks for joining us this evening. And then my friend, is also going to join us. So my Chelsea buddy, Ty, is not here today because he's a Chelsea fan. This is strictly a City discussion with a neutral that we want on. I'll be his friend again on Sunday after the game, win or lose. But I just wanted to really talk about just City stuff in general. And as we wait for Ade to join us, Carl,
Yeah.
how are you doing, mate?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm happy. I'm looking forward for tomorrow's game and looking forward to hopefully a good Euros and a good summer for us. But I think I'm happy now. I don't have to watch Everton for a few months after that last day performance, which we'll get onto, I'm sure, in the video. So yeah, I'm loving life at the moment because the Euros is on in 3-4 weeks now, and it's gonna be an exciting time.
I'll tell you what. I mean, it's going to be a great summer because we have the Euros coming up, and then we have Copa America coming up, and we have the Olympics coming up. So it is going to be a smashing summer all the way through. Welcome, Addy.
Hey. Sorry, guys. I had some technical difficulties. My computer decided to act real crazy when I was logging in. I had to reboot.
No worries.
Anyways.
Charlie, thank you. I saw Company, Dickov, and Zaba in Porto too. Those are legends. They deserve all to be there. Hopefully, if we get to the other side with a W, they all deserve to lift that trophy if we do win it, because they are instrumental to the clubs getting to this point. All of them. Dickov, we know Dickov's goal, how it saved us in that cup final, the promotion playoff, massive. Zabaleta, we know who he is, and Company, of course, we know who he is. It was great to see them on social media today.
Evening, Charlie.
Excellent. Yeah, we're just talking. I told the Carl that this is just a City fan discussion.
Yeah.
I added him, as a neutral and Everton fan, just because they're neutral. My good friend Ty. Today we're not talking. We're leaving the Chelsea. And let's just talk about the game. One of our good friends, who's a City fan, Doyi, he's in Porto actually at this point in time. He actually sent videos and pictures of it.
Really?
He's in Porto. He actually went all the way there. He got the ticket.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Doing got the ticket, man. He's sending me pictures of himself. I asked him
to
make sure.
I think I saw some of the pictures he sent. Today.
Yeah, he did. So I just start with you. How are you feeling, man? At the eve of the game, how your picture's gone blank though, by the way. So, but how?
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that.
Okay.
I'm listening.
How are you feeling at the eve of the game?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. I feel like it's an exciting time. Sorry, had to represent my team today. But yeah, I feel good. I feel relaxed. I mean, I'm not the one playing, so But no, I think the team is in a good spirit. I think we're very mature. Chelsea's a much younger team than us, and so there's probably a lot more jitters with them than there. We have experienced guys in our squad, outside of Phil Foden, who's our youngest. Yeah, that's why I had to do it, Charlie. I was like, man, I have to do it today. Yeah, so I feel relaxed, and I think that's coming off of all the interviews I've seen with the players and what they've said. So yeah, I feel good.
So I'll come to you, Kyle, in a minute about the English view and that. This week I thought about this whole game. I thought, City had a Champions League final.
Yeah.
Let me think about that, right? City are in the UEFA Champions League final. Yeah. And we emerged from a group that has Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, and Bayern Munich.
Yep. That's pretty big.
We know anybody can win or lose a final. Anything can happen. The referee has a bad decision. You got penalty. Goes to look at United the other day with Villarreal, right? It goes to penalties. It happens.
Yep.
And I think we need to understand that to get to the Champions League final, while if you don't win it, okay, you feel sad, but it's a massive, massive feather in the cap.
It is. It is. I think we've come a long way. We've come a long way. You know, we've had like trials and tribulations of, making it to the quarterfinals, dropping out, one thing or another.
Mm.
I think Kevin De Bruyne is I don't know if you're gonna get into it, but I think
Yeah.
his press conference today was so enlightening.
Yeah.
And where he talked about all the trials they've been through, where they've come close and they've made mistakes here. And he was talking about, it's just this little margins. I know this word gets thrown around a lot, is the
Mhm.
margins, the margins. But, mistakes. And he said this year, they were able to eliminate a lot of mistakes they
Right.
make. And even in games where they went down, they came back up. And I listened to him, and then I listened to how they were talking so glowingly of Fernandinho
Yeah.
and his leadership. And then I listened to Fernandinho, how incredibly calm he was,
Yeah.
and just talking about the dressing room. And they were all talking about Phil Foden and the other players, and how Ruben is leading in the back. And I mean, it was just, I loved that interview. And I was like, you know what? It's one game, win or lose. These guys are so mature. And I don't know if we're gonna talk about this, but Pep said something yesterday when he was talking to, I think it was Rio Ferdinand,
Yes. What an
that
interview.
that
What an
caught
interview.
that caught me off guard. That interview, and
Oh,
how he described Man City as building a legacy. I've
oh, that
never I've never
interview.
really thought about it like that. And those things, like all these things are just coming into my head about this team and the way they look at the future. Like a manager that comes to City now, Carabao is the minimum.
Correct.
Winning the Carabao Cup is the minimum for Man City now.
Correct.
And that's a trophy that Harry Kane will kill for right now. You know what
Correct.
I mean? For Man City, that's a minimum. We've won it 4 times in a row, and it's like, okay, the minimum you can do is win that as the next manager coming in. It's a lot of pressure. We're
Correct.
building a legacy. Like, I know people don't want to hear this, like Manchester United and Liverpool have, where you come into this club, big things are expected of you. It's
Yeah.
not little things anymore. It's not, oh, we made it to Champions League. No. So, anyways, I don't want to go on and on and
No,
on,
no,
but
please. I mean, this is why we're here, right? And I'm going to come to Carl in a minute. And I mean, Charlie, I watched that interview, and to fair play to Rio Ferdinand, that interview was absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best interviews I watched of Guardiola. He was excited. He was effusive. He really dug deep into the mentality of what it takes to, manage Phil Foden through the ranks, right? Talking
yeah,
about, yes, he's growing up this way, he's improving, but at some point there's going to be a dip, and then how we react to that dip is how we'll make him
yep,
even better. He talked about, the club and how the club have everything surrounding him that he wants, that his friends are there, and how they work. It was just a fantastic interview.
it
He
really
talked about,
was.
when he said that Foden was the best player he's seen, right, ever, right? We
A
talked about
17-year-old Phil
that
Foden is the
at
best player
17
he's
years
ever
old. Yeah,
seen.
so he didn't get to see Messi. Messi was older, but at 17, there's nobody he's seen as good as that.
Yeah.
There were so many nuggets in that interview that
There,
I really,
there,
really
there
enjoyed.
were too many. There were too many, and I just kept thinking about it. I was like, man, this guy. It's the reason why he's in Manchester. It's like if you think of all the places of Pep Guardiola that can have, he could tell any club right now, hey, you know what? I want to coach for you next year, and
Yeah,
they will sign him immediately.
correct.
For him to be in Manchester, which doesn't have the greatest of weather. Sorry to all the Manchester
Yeah,
fans,
yeah,
doesn't have the greatest of weather, doesn't have the greatest of food. He could have his, and he chooses to be there. Signed an extension, and
mhm.
even in the interview he gave, he was basically putting it out there that he could probably stay more than the.
Yeah,
I can see him being there for 8 years
yeah,
easily. Just
yeah,
because the control he has, the support system he has, and
yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't know what those city owners are doing there, but whatever they're doing, they should not stop doing it because they're doing
Well,
an excellent
I mean,
job.
Carl, I'll come to you right in a minute, right now. But here's the thing: did you know, Ade? This is incredible, right? So you and I, and we do some IT. We know about IT. We know what's going on. We know we know that
Yeah,
everything is going digital, and the whole digital ecosystem is expanding. That's going to be the future,
yeah,
and that's CFG's play. Do you know that Melbourne City FC in Australia, owned by CFG, right,
yeah.
won their the Premiership, their own
I
league?
saw that. I saw that.
You know that Troyes, the CFG's club that they own in France, got promoted to their the League 1. They won their own championship.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the under 18s won the Premier League. Under 20s won the Premier League. Our first team won the Premier League. New York City are probably on the road to getting probably getting qualification for the playoffs again. So all around the world, this model that they're building, which is based on digital ecosystem, is growing. I mean, tomorrow morning I'm going to Colombia here, the SoFi training center, world-class training center, right? Or like it is. CFG bought it. They bought it. They're plastering the whole place with City paraphernalia in preparation for the game.
Amazing job.
So it's amazing. So, Carl, question to you: what's the feeling in England, around the media, opposition fans about this game? Do they want City to win? Do they want Chelsea to win? Is there hate? Is there like, oh, City can do it? What's the feel in England?
I think the media are more on Chelsea's side because the media over here do not like City. And they're more of the media are more of the fact they don't talk about Chelsea's money. They're strictly just talking about how City have spent money on Ruben Dias to get to the final. Which they do in every film about City. The fans, I'm not supposed to say Chelsea fans, pretty happy that City are in the final. Most of the fans I spoke to from Liverpool, even Man United, are actually happy that Pep is in this because of the disrespect the media give him. I saw something, and we spoke about this before we went live about TalkSport, about Pep just completely having a go at Pep. You don't like Pep and you don't like Man City because you've broke that barrier of, let's be real, you were a small club, but let's be real, you elevated into a superstar of a club. And the media over here have been so biased towards Chelsea. They focus so much on them 2 wins for Chelsea and Chelsea's last Champions League. There's been 30-minute documentaries on BT Sport about Chelsea, the Champions League victory. Yeah, there's a 60-second clip about Man City's goals in the Champions League this season. There's a bit of a difference from the media, but obviously you get the occasional fan who's not happy, but most fans I've spoken to actually want City to win for Pep.
I mean, to be fair, the American media coverage on CBS and Paramount Plus has actually been fair to City, to be fair. I mean, even UEFA have put out, video clips that are really engaging about the journey to the Champions League final. I saw a documentary about City's first European Cup Winners' Cup win in the 70s. So it's been fair here in the UK. I know BT Sport has their own issues with City.
You know what the best thing I've seen from any sort of media or uploaded onto YouTube is Rio Ferdinand. He seems to actually not to take away his him being a legend of Man United, and he sees things down the middle at City and with Pep. And the way he talks about Pep, it's refreshing because I'm an Everton fan and I love what Pep's brought to England. He's brought a style of football that, let's be real, we've never really seen in English football, and it's exciting. It's a different brand, and teams have copied it and made it and put it in little styles of their own. And the media don't like him. They've never liked him. I don't know if you watch his press conferences when he's when it's not in Europe Champions League, but when it's over here, they try and trip him up on every single word that he says to make it a star headline in a newspaper.
What I've noticed is when he talks to ex-players like Rio Ferdinand or what's his name? The other guy, Gary Neville. He kind of opens up to them. He's very animated. He's very comfortable. When it comes to the traditional media, he kind of shuts down. He doesn't really talk.
Have you seen the Harry Kane? I know this is a bit off topic, but have you seen the Harry Kane interview with Gary Neville?
I saw that.
Look how comfortable he is. But if he's talking to someone from Sky Sports who's not a footballer, he's not comfortable or confident to say stuff because they try and strip you up. These interviewers aren't there to get Pep Guardiola said this, changed this and done this and this. It's about he spent money, he wants to leave, he wants Messi. It's never actually about him as a person. It's always negative things.
So Gary Lineker's leaving BT. Oh wow, okay. I mean, he's brilliant. Lineker.
Kyle, you're so spot on. It's the interviews he gives when he talks to players are so much different. They're refreshing. I mean, it opens you up to his mind and the way he thinks about the game, and I love hearing it. And I know it's the media's job to. I don't really blame the media. The media is the media everywhere in the world. No matter what it is, it doesn't matter the sport. I think what they try to do is they need something catchy for somebody to say, oh, you know what? I want to read your article. So I get it. But I just, I understand what they're doing, but it doesn't give you any kind of insight into a manager. I would love to see managers talk to ex-players because they will tell because those players know. So
Yeah.
they feel comfortable talking to those guys,
Yeah.
and I love it. Charlie wrote something down there, and he said, all they've been talking about recently is uh the Chelsea too. And yeah, Charlie, I've seen all that. I don't even pay attention to that. Like, anybody that knows anything about football knows that. I mean, if you watch the game, we fielded like what, 7 bench players. I
Yeah.
mean, so I don't know why people make a big deal. This is, I'm not saying Chelsea can't win tomorrow. This is one game. It's one off. Yes, we are the
Exactly.
favorites. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say we are the favorites. We have been the better team all year. So yeah, we are the favorites. But
Yeah.
does that mean City is going to win? No. It means there's a likelihood that City wins if everything being equal, we play our game and they play their game. So
Yeah.
people can get stuck on this whole, they won 2 games or they have this psychological edge over us, but that's nonsense.
Also, I don't know, sorry to interrupt, Carl, but I think this is a great point I'm about to say about the media. I don't know if you've seen the videos on Sky Sports about after Man City won the title, and there wasn't many fans outside. But what Sky Sports aren't telling people was that was 26 minutes after you'd just won the league, and it's like they're so smart at spinning stuff, and they were spinning it
Yeah,
as City have no fans. But I've gotten to the Etihad.
Yeah, I think what you have to realize that Sky Sports recognize where the clicks will come from, and the clicks will come from Liverpool and United fans because they have a larger fan base.
yeah,
That they recognize that, and so they're using that to
correct.
create clicks. What I don't understand, and this is what I don't understand, is I can't understand how you can be a journalist in front of Pep Guardiola in a press conference and ask a stupid question.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't understand it. If I were a journalist, I would have thought about the most intriguing question I can ask him that can pull out, great information from him, because I know I have a moment with somebody who's really, really great. That's how I see life. But
They asked one. In the press conference he gave. There
mm,
was one answer that he really thoroughly explained it to them,
mm,
and that was why he was still in Manchester. It was the best question he got. It wasn't even about
yeah,
football. It
yeah,
was
that was.
about why, why did he extend his contract? And he gave like almost a
Do,
6-7 minutes
you know
answer.
who that, you know why he answered that guy? That's this guy, Martin Samuel. Martin
Ah,
Samuel is a guy who is unashamed of saying it as it is.
okay,
He's a fantastic journalist.
okay.
And he always talks about the fact that all this City spent money nonsense is all just jealousy. And I mean, the whole FFP stuff, he basically lambasted it. So when he asked that question, which is
Yeah,
insightful, his perspective was to get a nugget from him that will open up that
he
whole window.
did. He got a nugget
Yeah,
from him because it was there. I learned that Pep might stay after the 2 years is over.
yeah, he said it.
Yeah, he
Maybe
said
after
it.
2 years.
He said it. I'm like, that's big news. It's like he got the best answer out of everybody. He's like, well, Pep might be here for maybe 4 more years.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the video of him where he's talking to Klopp done it when Klopp first came to England, and there's certain journalists that Klopp will just used to speak German to, because you can tell Pep doesn't like speaking to normal journalists. He doesn't like them. He doesn't trust them,
Yeah.
and you don't blame him, because you
Yeah.
never I've seen it where even in September, and he's talking about his team, and it's about how he wants to improve the team, and about how Man City as a unit can go on to win the league. And the journalist says, so what's happening with Messi? And Pep's like, I don't want to speak about Messi. Next question. Next journalist. So what's going on with Messi? I said I didn't want to speak about Messi. All right, next topic. So would you ever go back to Barcelona? I don't want to answer. I've never, I've said 10, we said 5 years ago at Bayern is position with Barcelona, but they still pick it up because they want to trick him. And I know they do it, but the media they dislike him because he was supposed to fail. Yeah, he's a great coach, but his style of football wasn't supposed to work in England, and it's worked.
Yeah.
And they hate it and they're jealous. But I love Pep. He's tremendous, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the preparation. Talk about the games last weekend. The City versus Everton game and then the Villa versus Chelsea game. I watched both games. I had like my whole TVs left, right, center. I was watching the games.
Yeah.
Leicester bottled it as usual.
Yeah.
But from an Everton perspective, I know that it was 5-0 and it was a good performance from City. How did you feel about that game? I mean, given the fact that Everton could have made Europe, Carl.
I said it on Twitter. I'm not as angry as I thought I would be. I would have been out. I thought I would have been furious after that Sheffield loss. But I've been saying to you guys for how long? 2 months now. I think Europe's done. because I think we forgot how bad we actually, a lot of the players are in the team. And look, we were playing a Man City side. It was going to be a tough task anyway, with no James Rodriguez, no Seamus Coleman to go away to an incredible team with an incredible, the fan base back, just to try and get a win and hope results go our way on a team that haven't really faced much pressure in us. So I wasn't expecting much, but to be honest, it was a brilliant performance. And if you could let anyone score past us, I'm happy Aguero got his last 2 goals, because he's one of the greatest strikers ever, isn't he? So
yeah, thanks, Carl. How did you see the game? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more for, I mean, it was basically a formality, and it was just a tune-up game for the game, on tomorrow. I like how they played. I like the fluidity. I was more happy for Aguero. I think Aguero's had he's had a really tough year with injuries, and then that Panenka became like a major news,
Major problem, yeah.
So that kind of put him in a low spot.
Yeah.
And to see him in 20 minutes do what he did, and you can see what that game, I mean, the game itself, even from, if I want to talk about Everton's standpoint, I think Everton has just been, they've had some bad luck, man. They, like, call a spade a spade. They've had some bad luck with the team not really gelling the way they should, with people coming off injuries, coming back in. So that's the Everton side. The Man City side, they did what they were supposed to do. They were solid defensively. They were solid offensively. The midfield was good. And, the way they scored the goals, I mean, Foden was brilliant.
Kevin was on. I
So,
was worried about Kevin. I was like, Kevin, don't go enjoy yourself, man. Take it easy.
yeah. I think Pep was thinking the same. That's why he took him out. He was like, man, you doing this game like...
What did you think of the tackle Godfrey did? I don't know if you remember it. It was in the first half. Foden was dribbling through, and Godfrey absolutely took him out and sent him flying. And
so
he
that was
was
weird.
rolling his ankle, he was touching his ankle, and you could just see Pep was like, "Oh no!"
Like, not before a final, a UCL final. So it was a great game, and I was so happy for Aguero, and you can see what, I mean. People, this is why the media makes a big deal out of things. People are like, oh, Aguero's out of favor with this, blah 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 blah. See, I've never seen a manager cry over a player.
Yo, that was that.
I've never seen that before.
I shed it here, man.
I've never seen Pep show that kind of emotion over anyone ever. I've never seen him do that ever.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody has a video somewhere they can show me. He was crying in the interview. He couldn't control it. He was trying so hard to keep tears back, talking about what Aguero means to him and how Aguero has made things easier for him. And you have to think about. I'm sorry, Carl. Let me.
No, go ahead. This is your.
You have to think about what that means to a manager, for him to show that, to say a superstar made it easier for him. You have to really think about what that means. If you think about a superstar, a Ronaldo, Ronaldo can make a manager's job hell.
Like Zlatan.
He can make a manager's job hell. Aguero made things easier because Aguero is the face of Manchester City. So for Pep to come in there and say, this guy made things easier for me, it was just, I love that whole post-match interview by Pep about Aguero and him passing away Rooney for the most goals for a single club.
Yeah.
It was a storied ending to his career at Manchester City. It was brilliant.
No, you raised a fantastic point, because I was thinking about what you just said. I said to myself, this guy's probably weeping because he probably told Aguero, look, I need to win this league. You're not fit yet. I need to sit you out because I need to play these kids to get them ready to win the league. And Aguero probably said, okay, fine, coach, I'll do whatever you want me to do. If I'm not fit, I won't play. If I'm fit, you can bring me on. I mean, that's what was going through my mind, for him to kind of weep like that. The sacrifice that Aguero made to ensure that Pep was able to play in the false nine and play the people you need to play is what went through my mind. I shed a tear too to see a coach do that. I mean,
I think he's going to cry on tomorrow as well, because I think it's been a tough year for everyone, not just football wise, but we've had let's be real, the last year and a few months have been horrible with the pandemic, and not just for that, Aguero's had a horrible year. We lost Maradona, which is a big loss for his son, and obviously Pep lost his mother last year, in the summer, and to see the way they've bounced back, I think it shows the mentality of both of them too, because I don't think many managers could lose the mum and then manage the season after and win the Premier League. By the way, he did, and adapt, and Aguero as well. I don't think many strikers could adapt the way he has this year, and then on the last day get 2 incredible goals, and it's brilliant to see Aguero get them because he's just unrivaled in it at the top.
Absolutely. Everybody played well. Before I get into some of the highlights from the press conference, I have notes here on some of the things that each person said. And I think you talked about this earlier on. How much influence will there be any influence on those 2 games on the game on Sunday?
Those are people that don't know anything about football that think I've never believed in that. I've never believed, our main starters didn't start, and all of a sudden that's going to affect the starters that do play. I don't believe in that. Maybe I don't blame people that believe in that kind of a pattern, or we lost 2 games, so it's in our thoughts. The players that played aren't the same ones that are going to. If the team that lost those 2 games is the team that was playing tomorrow, yes, that would be a major concern, because you've lost 2 games to them back to back. You're playing a UCL final. Yes, I will be a little nervous. It's not the same team. It's almost going to be a completely different team. So that's nonsense.
Well, again, I think if you watch the games themselves, right? Watch the FA Cup semi-final. I mean, it was Zach Steffen mistake. There was a goal. Kevin went off injured. It's kind of a slow game. It was
Benjamin Mendy as well was given the ball about 40 times.
Mendy is probably not going to see the game until maybe 2 minutes left and we're winning or something.
Aguero's Panenka that he missed. There was a Sterling penalty that should have been given. It's all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, I don't put any kind of. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Charlie.
That's true.
And Stones alone haven't played versus Chuck. Oh, really? So so it's a different game. It's one game, and I just. I think we just got to be focused. I think the players have to be focused tomorrow. They just have to focus on the game, do what we normally do. Don't get ahead of yourself and try to do something that you've not done before. Don't get fancy in the back. Keep it simple.
We'll talk about
the game simple. Keep the game simple. I don't think he plays 5 in the back, because
we'll talk about that in a minute, Charlie.
Well, keep the game simple, and I think it should be a good game. Keep it simple.
Okay, so some of the quotes from the press conference. So Pep said, the game, it's about margins. The game is about margins. So the same thing happened against Liverpool when we played them in the Champions League. It was about margins, right? Referee bad calls, the offside call that wasn't an offside. We suffered together. It feels like the same as last year, but last year we got through. That's what he said. He said it's a privilege to play to be at this club. So the players who can't play, he feels bad for them. So probably they know he's already told them who's going to play, who's going to start from the bench. So he feels bad for them. It's the worst thing ever to not be able to play in the final, start for the final. But he said we have 5 substitutions, so they have to be ready. Kevin De Bruyne says that he just wants to play. He's not nervous, just wants to play. So there's some nerves, but he just wants to play. So he likes the pressure. He says that one thing he said was that because they have so many games this year, there's been less time where the coach has been able to direct and in training. So the coach has trusted them more to kind of figure things out themselves and solve things on the pitch. So there has to be that microcosm, high pressure, Pep, or oversight that's allowed them to kind of flourish, which was interesting. Fernandinho said that Foden was so important to the team. He talked about the privilege of captaining this team and the potential of him lifting the cup would be magnificent for him. So just some quotes from the press conference. I just felt the overall press conference was just one of positivity. They're looking forward to the game. They believe it's in their hands. And Sterling was quoted by Sky Sports as saying that the only people who can stop City are City. City don't play to their potential. They're the ones who are going to be at fault. And then of course everybody's kind of hating on him for that. But it was just an interesting press conference. I really enjoyed every single press conference. Charlie and Carl, I saw the video where the club was sending them off, where they have people line up by the Etihad Stadium with the blue flags. Kids were running with flags. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I mean, really, really beautiful. It was almost as if, hey, go there, do your best. We love you either win or lose. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was great. Did you see that, Carl or Charlie?
I saw it on Twitter before, and it's like it's it's for even for your fans, and I know your fans have a certain opinion of the Champions League, but
Yeah,
it's this is the best it's gonna get. It's pinnacle of football, win or lose, isn't it? Whether you like the competition or not, it's the pinnacle of football. It's the Super Bowl in American football. It's
yeah,
the best
Yep.
competition, and let's be real. After everything that's happened with City and how far you've come, the one thing that's denied you, you could argue, from being a elite level club is the Champions League, and
yeah.
you're in that final, and all you need is one more win after how many wins this season.
Hmm.
So it's a great, it must be a great feeling for them fans who've never even seen it before.
I was debating with some City fans on Twitter today. We were talking about booing the anthem, right? And my argument was, look, you know, you can't win what you despise. Life doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way, and the players don't like you booing the anthem. I recognize the fact that, okay, UEFA haven't always been fair with City. They've done the cast, they've done all kind of nonsense,
Yeah.
but you're in the final. Why would you go there in the grandeur of that place in the final, the grandeur of the anthem, and begin to boo? For me, it's just, I just scratched my head. And what do you think about that whole booing thing?
I'm on the fence with it. I'm really 50-50. I think, people feel hard done by UEFA. UEFA tried to kick City out the Champions League, man. People haven't forgotten that. They took us to court. They did all
Yeah,
kinds of nonsense.
yeah,
So people have hard feelings about it. So
yeah,
I don't knock people for protesting the way they want. Just be peaceful. Don't be Manchester United.
yeah,
Be peaceful. Protest the way you want. But yeah, if you want to boo, it's an individual issue.
yeah,
Personally, I wouldn't,
yeah.
but I understand why someone would want to do it. If you were bred in Manchester, you were born there. Not like me that
Mm-hmm,
I just love the club because they play beautiful football.
mm-hmm.
If you were born there and you saw what they tried to do to your club,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I
That's
would
true.
not like the anthem. I would not like UEFA. I would
That's
want to
true.
win, and I would want to win and have my players say, UEFA, you suck.
Yeah,
That's what I would want. If I
yeah,
was born, I was bred there. So
yeah,
I get it. I wouldn't do it, but I don't knock people for doing that. So everybody has their own
yeah.
little way of dealing with things.
Yeah, that's the feedback I got from them as well. It was very good discussion and good debate,
Yeah,
which is why I kind of love the fan base, because we have good debates and good discussions about things like
yeah.
this, and I listen to and I understand their perspective. Speaking about UEFA, Mr. Lahoz is the referee, and Carl, you know this guy, Charlie, you know this guy, and Ada, you probably know him very well. Him and Pep have afters. They have history.
Mm.
Are you concerned about this referee, Ade and Carl?
If it's I can let Kyle go. I've been talking for a while. Kyle, you say your piece.
Well, I think we all know his history with Pep. He sent Pep off, hadn't he, before, and he's always had that argument with Pep. But let's be real, he's gonna, you very rarely see a mess up from a ref in a final, because it's
Yeah,
one of them games where there's so much pressure because of the
yeah,
kinds of game. Where I
I
think in the
agree.
Premier League you kind of get away with it because there's
I agree.
38 games, and in like March, no one remembers a decision in February. Where
Mm.
if there's a wrong decision, people will remember this in a million years because it will always it's locked in history. So I don't see it being a problem. And yeah, let's be real, Pep's a professional, so I don't think Pep will be concerned because he's a proper professional. And it's non-stop. I think when he made that decision a few years ago, VAR was only just getting into football, and
Yeah.
so
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
I don't really look at that. If VAR was only just becoming a thing and it'd been tried a few times, but I wouldn't worry if I was Man City fans or Chelsea fans with them.
So I'm gonna piggyback off what Kyle said. Yeah, if this was maybe 4 years ago and we were in the UCL final, I'll be concerned. There's so much available right now. There's the handball rule. There's VAR. You would really have to try hard
Mhm.
in a UCL final to 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 do something that goes against another man. You have to really try hard. You have to just basically ignore something like maybe VAR tells you to go check something. You tell them, no, I'm not checking it. It would have to be blatant because there's so many things available now that
Yeah,
you have to check VAR. Is it a handball? Is it offside by 2 millimeters? And some of it is not even in your hands anymore. So it's really hard for a ref to and what Kyle said again, I'll piggyback off of it, is in the Premier League you can do something like that. This is the UCL final. You make a mistake like that, your career as a ref might be over. So
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
different to try to affect the game a referee standpoint. He might have little annoying things he does, maybe call the ticky tack fouls against City during the gameplay and not call against Chelsea. He might do things like that, but again, you know we don't even want the game to be that close. We want to go in there and play our game the way we know how
Correct.
to dominate. So we take the game away from the ref. The ref
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have an influence
Mm-hmm.
if we play our game,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody gets sent off for a red card for doing something silly. So I'm not worried about it.
Added to your point, so what I hear from both of you is that the occasion should make the referee rise up to the occasion, and hopefully limit the number of mistakes that he makes.
Yeah,
Pep, Pep said when they asked him about it, he said, "I couldn't care less."
yeah,
He said
same,
that I have full confidence in my players, which is basically go play your game.
exactly,
Don't put this into the hand of the referee to make.
Also, Carl, if you don't mind me saying, I also
Yeah.
think this for UEFA, they're going to have also the whole rise of the Super League because this cannot go wrong. This final was their kind of payback to the Super League. They could not have a bad decision go wrong for them because if a bad decision goes wrong for them, then
yep,
that's going to attract more clubs to the Super League. So there's a lot riding on this kind of final. And let's be real, when do you really see bad Champions League decisions, like I said, in a final?
Mm.
It's very slim, isn't it? So I trust the ref.
yeah,
So
me
let's
too.
talk about formations and who starts. Adi, I'll come to you, and then Carl, I'll come to you. So, Carl, think about the Chelsea formation. Who's going to start? Adi, who starts for City?
So at the back, our two stalwart, towers, call them the twin towers, Diaz and Stones, Zinchenko, Walker. In the middle, I want to say Fernandinho starts.
Yeah,
I think Fernandinho starts because of his leadership and the way he's able to, basically manage the back line and manage that middle. Um, Maybe Rodri comes in later, but Fernandinho, on the wing, uh, I think Bernardo Silva plays, Ilkay, who else? Kevin De Bruyne, of course. How many more? Three more. Phil Foden. Mares is definitely starting. He's the one I'm sure about. Him and Kevin De Bruyne, I'm sure about.
mm.
And then I don't know who
That's it.
do we,
That's your 11.
is that it? Okay.
Yeah, that's your 11.
Oh, okay, that's it. Now, okay, that's who I pick.
So, question for you: the matter of Torres or Guerrero starting? No, not for you.
Aguero's not starting.
Okay.
Aguero's not starting. Aguero's gonna come in. He's gonna come in if he's gonna come in regardless. If we are up by say 2 goals by halftime, Aguero comes in maybe at the 50th minute in the second half. But if it's close, Aguero doesn't come in till maybe late. I think that's how it plays out. But he will play. Aguero will play, but it won't be a starting thing for him.
Question for you, Adi, and Carl, I'll come to you with the Chelsea formation. Um, Rodri and Fernandinho, we talk. I mean, I think I agree with you. I think Fernandinho has to start that game. I think Rodri gets panicked and he loses the ball, and then we get
Way
countered.
too much. Way too much.
Um, I saw today that Gundogan may have picked up a knock. I'm not sure. Charlie, could you confirm that? Maybe it was just precautionary. We'll see. If Gundogan can't play, then Pep has to make a decision. Does he play Torres or Jesus, right? And play them in a false nine.
LKR would be a big loss if he's hurt.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's so. What does poor Aymeric Laporte do? Are they? He sits out, I
Laporte,
guess.
uh, Laporte's again, like if it's a close game, Laporte probably doesn't see the field unless maybe somebody is carrying a yellow and we're scared that he might get a red card. And that will be, I think a lot of people play if we're able to score a quick couple of goals and Chelsea's chasing the game. I think a lot of people play. But if it's not, if it's a close game, if it's like 1-0, it'll be tough to, put in guys off the bench unless you really think they can affect the game. I really
Yeah,
hope Ilkay could play because it'll mess up what City like to do,
yeah.
which is just totally dominate the midfield.
Yeah,
So
I heard
yeah,
it's minor. I heard it's not a big deal. Maybe an injection.
I really hope it's minor.
Uh,
So we'll see. But I want him to play out because he really controls the temp. He's like our mini
Iniesta.
David Silva.
Or
Do
yeah,
you,
That's all
can
I
I just
mean.
ask a question, Carl? Do you and
yeah.
Ade see or think this Laporte moving to Spain a worrying thing? Because I don't know if you've seen the links, but there's been a lot of links recently to him in Barcelona or to Real Madrid. Do you not
Laporte.
get? Yeah, yeah. Do you not? Does them the kind of him changing his nation to Spain not
I mean,
worry you?
it wouldn't. It would. I mean,
Yeah,
he's moved to Spain. If he wants to leave for Barcelona, I don't think they can afford
yeah.
him because they have to pay like 75 million pounds for him. They probably can't afford
I
him.
could see him wanting to move. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not gonna be a regular starter for City. So
yeah,
I
Not just
wouldn't
that,
blame him for wanting to
it's
move.
he's kind of become a centre back where well, certainly when I've spoken to a lot of City fans, also saw it on Twitter where they're like, "Oh no, he's starting because he's I don't know his win ratio, but when he plays, he makes a lot of errors. He's not as stable as John Stones or Diaz, and
mhm,
also I
yeah,
don't know if you've in the Champions League he had a mare against Tottenham, didn't he, a few years ago in the
yeah,
Champions League where he got
yeah,
split. I just don't see him playing this week, tomorrow.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So
he might.
Charlie
Go
give us
ahead.
the answer
Yeah,
for.
I saw that. So that's good. So it's just one of those things where,
Yeah,
just
I mean,
probably playing
if
too hard.
Laporte goes, I can tell you the perfect defender for him would be Pau Torres of Villarreal. Oh, and Carl, you did call Villarreal. You said they were going to win the Europa
Yep,
League.
because
You're absolutely right on that,
I
mate.
said Emily is such an underrated coach because he struggled at Arsenal. But I said it, you can't turn shite into shit, can you? Let's be real. And Arsenal, they're going down as a club, but he's been given what he wants at Villarreal. And also, I said it 2 years ago. Danny Pereira was one of the best midfielders in the world, and everybody laughed at me. He ran that midfield for Villarreal. He had Pogba and Bruno in his pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Charlie, what did Laporte say? Let us know in the chat what Laporte said, Charlie. As we talk through other things. So Carl, go ahead with the with Chelsea. How do you think they're going to line up?
Well, I think we all know Chelsea's formation this season since Tuchel's come in. It's been either a 3-4-2-1 or a 5-back against certain teams, but I think he'll go with the usual 3-4-2-1. I think in goal there's been a bit of discussion, but it seems that Mendy has passed all his fitness tests and he's fit to play.
Yeah.
I think the back three will be Dan James. Like I always say Dan James. Reece James, centre back, because he's been playing there recently and doing a phenomenal job. Thiago Silva, because that leadership is always important in a final, and also Antonio Rudiger has been a brick wall ever since he came in. The wide players are pretty obvious. It's Aspilicueta and Ben Chilwell, who have seemed to be incredible ever since Tuchel came in. And then in the midfield, I think Kovacic and Kante. He seems to trust Jorginho, but I think Jorginho's been making a lot of mistakes recently. And I think the front three is basically, I think, pretty knowable. I think it's Pulisic on the left, Timo Werner up top, and probably Kai Havertz or Ziyech on the right, or Mount. I think that's the one position where you're probably thinking who's going to start there on the wing, but that's the starting 11 for, in my opinion, for Chelsea in a 3-4-2-1 against Manchester City on Saturday. I also think, I think there's been a bit of speculation, but Tuchel said that Kante's back, and he has been training with the squad, and he does look fine. But I think playing two centre mids against Man City is very stupid. You've got to kind of overload the midfield, if that sounds weird, because you love the midfield, and if you like. This is always the way I say it. You can't beat City by just attack. You've got to win the midfield battles to beat City.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to do that with Kante or Kovacic or just Kante Jorginho. You need a few midfielders, but yeah, that's my starting 11, my bit of analysis for Chelsea's point of view.
You perfectly pivot into the next topic, which is kind of strengths and weakness. And I like the thought you brought about the two midfield of Chelsea, right? Because what Chelsea do is they play a 3-4-2-1, right? And you have the wing backs wide, you have the back three, and you have the center midfield of two, which is basically a five. So it's a five that are compact. When the wing backs come back, it becomes a seven. They're really a defensive team, if you think about it, right? But with City, because we have that false nine fluidity, we have 3 or 4 in the midfield at any point in time with that system. So we're going to overload that central midfield. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, which is why Walker is going to be key. Are they on the right side for the
Walker's
speed?
always key, man. That speed. You can't teach that speed. I think
and
Walker just got to cut down the mistakes. That's it.
Correct. And then the left side would Zinchenko or maybe even Laporte. I don't know. We'll see. Zinchenko's probably going to be.
Zinchenko on Laporte, but I think Zinchenko because he provides something going forward. Like he's able to get overlap and make crosses and
Yeah,
brilliant crosses too.
Do you know
So
who's going to be vital for City today, Ade? And Carl on Saturday night will be Foden because of Foden. For me, I think Sterling's good against teams with slow fullbacks, which Aspilicueta is. He's not very quick, but Sterling's not got that ability like Foden. Foden can make a defender look silly with the way how good he is and how precise he is on the ball.
yeah,
And I don't know if you've watched Chelsea recently since Reece James has been employed as a centre back. He kind of moves a bit too wide and leaves a gap in the back line, and you can't let Phil Foden do that. And imagine Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne with that kind of space. So if they play Reece, because Reece James has really been playing that role recently. He's done it well, don't get me wrong, but let's be real, Kevin De Bruyne's the best player, probably the best player in the world. And if he can find that pass, which you probably will, it's going to really damage them.
So Chelsea like to make sure that you don't get into the box, right? So I think shots out of the box are going to be key. But the problem with Sterling is when Sterling plays against a back five, he struggles. He really, a top-class back five, he really, really struggles because he plays on the left side and is right-footed. Foden is a natural lefty on the left side. So he has a balance, he has a control, he can dribble and weave through. So it's going to be interesting to see how Aspilicueta, if he plays against Foden, deals with him because that speed, the trickery could be.
I don't think any. I think Sterling isn't going to start because he's just not informed, and it's sad to say because I think Sterling has to rediscover his game, and it's really unfortunate because Sterling at his peak power is unstoppable, but he's developed this habit now. I've noticed it time after time. When they're moving the ball, when he gets the ball, it just sticks. And Sterling is trying to go from a standstill to beat his man. And 9 times out of 10, he's not able to.
Yes.
So he turns around, passes the ball back.
Yes.
And the play has completely broken down because the defense is set up.
Yeah.
Foden doesn't do that. Foden he's running with the ball because he understands whoever's going to give him the ball, if it's De Bruyne, if it's Ilkay, he's already in motion. Once you are in motion, going against a defender, it's difficult for that defender because he's off balance. And Foden knows how to do that. He's brilliant at that. He does it all the time. You'll see him go even out of bounds, come back in with the ball at his feet because he's already in motion. Sterling used to do that. He doesn't do it anymore. So that's why Sterling doesn't play anymore. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I also think that's it is a great point with Sterling, but I kind of think Sterling, we saw it against Leon last year. He hesitates too much. Sterling, and against Leon, he missed. Let's be real. That chance, I think, is still on his mind because that's the good. Let's be real. If you had scored that, it's 2-2. They would never run up and scored that third goal. Most likely,
stadium, right? It's the same stadium, isn't it? Same stadium.
I think so, yeah. But not just that. I think you've seen it this time. How many times does he get? Even against us, he did it against us when he came on. He ran and just he didn't know. He doesn't know where to go anymore. Where Sterling 2 years ago, he knew what to do with the ball. He knew where to go, and he doesn't know where to go. And I think another big problem for Sterling, and I think losing Sané has been a big struggle for him because him and Sané linked up so well, and I don't think him and Mahrez have that kind of connection because Mahrez doesn't really move to the left. He really stays either centrally or on the right. Where when Sterling and Sané play together, he used to switch to left a lot, which is perfect for him. But I think, a lot of people have been saying he's crap and he's terrible. Raheem Sterling is not crap and he is not terrible.
God, no.
Sterling offers a lot of good things, but I think he's very easy to read, which Phil Foden isn't. And Phil Foden offers. Foden is very clinical, where I wouldn't say as good as Sterling's goal scoring record is. Let's be real, you put him in front of the goal, he misses 5 shots. He misses a lot, where Foden doesn't. And I think Pep trusts Foden also. And just to quickly go into Foden, I said this. I've never seen a player like Phil Foden. The confidence and he has something about him. He has that kind of factor, doesn't he? Where it's like he knows how good he is, but he doesn't want to tell people how good he is. Like there's a thing about him that's just different and unique. Like he's an incredible talent.
Yeah, I watched Phil Foden play 2 finals. The World Cup final for the under-17. He was electric. He literally won that game for England. And I watched him in the League Cup final for us, not last year, not this year. where we won it with Aguero scoring. He was electric on that right side. So
Yeah.
he's a big game player. He's not unafraid. It's going to be an interesting game between two good teams.
Yep.
The second to last question. We're going to have crowds in the stadium. I see Charlie mentioned the fact that City sold out their tickets and everybody's there, and Chelsea had to return 800 tickets. The Sheikh, I believe, paid for the tickets or paid for the travel for the City fans. I think that's an incredible gesture by the Sheikh.
Yeah, that is.
It's just amazing. Right?
That's an incredible gesture. I think that's really big. I think he knows how important this game is to the club and its history. So I mean, from what Pep has said about the leadership, I'm not really surprised. I think the leadership has been brilliant, and I think that's a good gesture. With the crowd being possibly unbalanced, I don't think it takes away from what City's trying to do. Crowd or no crowd, City just have to play their game. That's it. Just if they play, if there are no ejections from the game, and City played their top game and Chelsea played their top game, we win.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a slight. It's not a slight against Chelsea. Chelsea's a great team.
You're just that
But
good.
if we're being real, I mean, City's a better team. So if we both play our peak games, we win. But if there's these intangibles that you can't control, like somebody makes a stupid tackle in the box, it's a penalty. Now we're chasing the game.
Yeah.
Those things are what the margins they keep talking about. Those are the differences that if you can keep that down, which is what they say, eliminate mistakes. If you keep that down, we play our game, you play your game. I like our chances.
Fantastic. So let's do this. Let's wrap it up very quickly. With I hate to do the score predictions. I really don't know. So, but it's okay if you don't want to say it, and it's fine. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, hopefully we win. But Carl, did you want to give a score prediction, or you want to just say, hey?
Yes, I said Chelsea a few weeks ago, where I used, but I've completely changed my opinion. I'm going 3-0 Manchester City or 3-1. But the reason is I'm saying this is because I think Man City with fans are different because you're kind of forced to play that beautiful style under Pep, where we've seen this season. You are a bit more, I'd say, defensively, concerned. I think with. Because you're going to be, but I think this season there's nothing. Not that you don't have to look towards anything. There's nothing to look for now after today. You can go on a break where the last time you played Chelsea as well, there's something I forgot to mention. You had a Champions League semi-final 3 days later. And it was a tight schedule and you hadn't won the league yet. And let's be real, you'd already won the League Cup, so you can let go of the FA Cup, can't you? But I'm saying 3-1, and my goal scorers for Man City are going to be Kevin De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne's going to score. Phil Foden. And I think Sergio Aguero.
That would be magnificent if you got the winning goal.
That'd be nice.
Ade, what do you think? What's on your mind?
Predictions. I hate to do them, but I want my team to win. So I will say.
You don't have to do it. You can say, I just want my team to win.
No, I don't care. I don't care I don't care about this got you thing. I'll be like, you said Chelsea was gonna lose. I don't care about that. That's nonsense. I think we win 3-1. I think we win 3-1. I think goals come from unlikely sources. I think we score a set piece goal. I think it's a whip ball inside. Somebody puts a head on it, maybe Diaz or Stones, and then we score another one in the box. So maybe 2-1. Maybe 2-1. But I see a mistake in our back line. I see one mistake. And we know they're going to attack Zinchenko. That is who they just pick the weaker side and they just go for it.
All teams do that, right? That's
all teams do the same thing. It's like, okay, do we go against Walker? Probably not. Walker was able to contain Mbappe and Haaland. So you know what? We'll try this side. They're going to attack Zinchenko. So if Phil Foden doesn't help out, if Ilkay doesn't help out, it's a problem. And then I see a goal coming from that whole scenario right there.
Yeah. I see a goal coming from a header from Chelsea. I think if we concede the corner, I think Rudiger and I don't know if Zuma's going to play, but they could potentially score. But I think I just got this feel that we're going to win it. I could be wrong. And, it's fine. It's football. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But if we play to our level, if we play the football we can play, there's a reason why we're 20 points ahead of them or 20 points ahead of them. We should win this game.
That's right. That's right. I agree with
and I'm going 3-1.
Yes.
City. The thing about this game is that if City get to like 3 goals, this could be bad. The issue is that if it stays tight all the way through the second half, and it becomes edgy, right?
And
It all
that's
depends on
the
what
point I
how
was
you
trying
play.
to make earlier. If we score 2 goals, they're going to chase the game. They have no choice. They're going to chase the
Yeah,
game. When you chase the game against City,
yeah,
you get what happened to Everton.
yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, it's sorry,
Oh,
I'm sorry I had to do that, but it's true. When you chase the game against City, it's impossible to beat them. It's almost impossible. I won't say
also,
impossible, almost
do you know?
impossible.
Do you know what Man City
Thanks,
remind me of?
Charlie.
And I've always said this. You remind me of a boxer. The way you are as a team, it's like a boxer. You put teams in uncomfortable positions, and you know what their uncomfortable positions are, and you consistently attack them. Against us, you knew it was our fullbacks. We don't really have quick and creative fullbacks,
Yeah.
and you consistently went down our wings and made them work hard, and we couldn't do it. You
Hmm.
know, Pep is so intelligent, and the fact people are actually trying to use the fact you've lost 2 games, Pep does not care. Pep, why would Pep care? You know what I mean? Like he's like, look what he's won. You know what I mean? He's managed the best teams in the
right.
world
The
at 3
guy's
different.
the guy's
And
genius.
let's be real, he's so intelligent,
Yeah.
and just to finish off, I hope he wins it just for him, because the way he gets treated by rival fans, media, is just disgusting. And he's a brilliant person as well, and he always shows Everton as well the most respect. The way he
Yeah.
talks, he's one of the only coaches that does it. He loves Everton, and he says he loves Goodison Park. So
Yeah.
up the
Yeah.
Pep, and for you two guys, I hope you can do it, because I want to see you two
Thank you, buddy.
happy. And
Thank
for
you.
Ty, I'm sorry, but come on, I want City to win.
Well,
He'll be all right. They have one already.
I told Ty, so you guys have already won it once.
They already won one. He'll be all right.
Already won. Let's also win it as well. So at least we can now begin to chase down, you know, the Reds
Go
and all the
City.
red clubs. But any last words from you, Carl, from Addy?
Nah, come on, City. Charlie, I'm with you. Come on, City. Those are my last words. Come on, City. Let's do it.
I wrote a poem. I wrote a small poem the other day and I posted it on Facebook. And I'll read it again for everyone here. It says here, it goes like this. 2 so-called nouveau riche teams are in the 2021 UEFA Champions League final in lovely Portugal. This is the greatest fear of the old god of European football. Where was FFP to stop all these old money clubs? How can both these teams get to the Champions League final? This is not meant to happen. There's an old saying, money alone is not a threat, but money with ideas is a dangerous combination. And now here we are. It's Man City versus Chelsea, arguably 2 of the best teams in the world playing in a European final, a one-off cup game where anything can happen. Naturally, I want my team to win. It's our first Champions League. It's the first time we've been to this stage, and we play some of the best football in the world. But it's the Champions League. It's a cup competition, and anything can happen. So best of luck to the 2 teams, and never forget, getting to the final itself is a massive achievement. Let's enjoy the game with grace and humility, regardless of the outcome. Come on, City, let's do this. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was brilliant.
Let's check in tomorrow. Let's sleep on it. Let's enjoy it. And we'll chat. We'll talk on chat and WhatsApp. Thank you so much, Carl, all the way from England. Thank you, Adi, for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care. God bless, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care. Come on, City.
Come on, City.